We welcome you into our latest edition of Marshall Football Today with Charles Huff, presented by the Dutch Miller Auto Group. I'm Mark Martin. Great to have you with us on Saturday, number 3 in the month of September. It is a Saturday that finds the Thundering Herd of Marshall going against the Buckeyes of Ohio State for a third time in program history. Marshall comes in with a record of 1-1, while Ohio State has won its first 2 of the 2024 season. Both teams are coming off open dates, and this is a game you can watch live right here on Fox 11. Quarterback Stone Earle hopes to lead the Thundering Herd to the upset today inside the famed Horseshoe. In this Meet the Herd segment, we visit with a young man from Texas. I'm Mark Martin, and we thank you for making the Saturday Sports Showcase a part of your second Saturday here in September. No one loved college football Saturdays any more than Woody Woodrum. To say Woody bled green and white would be an understatement. First as a native of Winfield and student at Winfield High School, and later with the Thundering Herd of Marshall. We lost Woody last Saturday. He died at his home just hours after returning from working a high school football game in Martinsburg featuring the Huntington Highlanders. We remember here on the showcase this Marshall and Tri-State legend. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. The line from James Taylor's hit song sums up Woody Woodrum, a man for all seasons who had a deep, burning passion for Marshall University.
You'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who has spent more time thinking about, talking about, promoting Marshall University in the last 50 years than Woody Woodrum has. He was the epitome of the son of Marshall.
His affection for Marshall came from the many seasons in which he served as the football equipment manager.
People probably don't know far and wide what an impact he had there, because that was in the era. 1980s is where equipment managers moved from the guys who did laundry and ordered cleats to the realization that it was really important to fit pads properly to avoid injuries. Helmets especially needed to be fitted properly.
He would later venture into the circles of writing and broadcasting, doing talk shows, calling Marshall events, along with countless high school games over the years.
If there's any solace you can take in this, he did a ball game on the radio the night before he passed away. He was doing what he loved, and he was loyal, he was passionate, and loved his alma mater. I wish more people were like Woody Woodrum.
He earned the respect from all who knew him.
Woody's a guy that means a lot to our program. Obviously, you know, he had transitioned into the media role and was one of the first guys here at my introductory press conference. I'll never forget that laugh and that smile. But what he means to Marshall and Marshall University athletics, you know, even before he got into the media role, you know, in the equipment role and just being around. He is a true Marshall fan. He's a true Marshall employee. He's a true Marshall lover.
Woody was honored many times. The one he would forever cherish came just last spring as he was presented with the Distinguished Service to Marshall University Award. No one deserved it more. But it was never about Woody. As the James Taylor song says, "You've got a friend." And that was Woody Woodrum to a T.
Woody was just a special guy. Everyone thought so highly of him, and anytime there's a need of a word of encouragement, Woody always had it. And the other thing is, you get blanked on the air, Woody's right there to just jump in and fill in. He was a cornucopia of information. He's one of those guys that you come to depend on. And I don't think people realize what the true loss is, because we haven't been without him before. And he's just one of those guys that fills so many roles, including being a loyal friend. And you know, 17 years that we're on the road together and in the booth together, I am better for having known Woody Woodrum.
The same can be said for all of us who had that distinct pleasure. Greetings from the beautiful Ohio River city of Ravenswood, along with West Virginia Broadcasting Hall of Famer Kenny Bass, Hannah Klein on the sidelines, and our wonderful FNR crew of Mark Martin. Delighted to have you with us. Kenny, you grew up following that Nitro St. Albans battle for the bridge, which, by the way, will unfold tomorrow night. But your years in sports, you saw a lot of these hatchet games. From humble beginnings, Jerry West became one of the game of basketball's all-time greats. He burst onto the scene as a high school player for East Bank. West starred for the Pioneers from 1952 through 1956. He was an all-stater in high school and took his talents to West Virginia University, where he developed into the most beloved and finest Mountaineer player ever. As a junior, West led the Mountaineers to the NCAA National Title Game. Despite falling by 1 point to California for the championship, West was named the most valuable player of the Final Four. As a Mountaineer, he was a two-time first-team All-American and was twice named the Southern Conference's Player of the Year. For his wonderful career, he had his number 44 jersey retired, and later a statue of West was erected in front of the WVU Coliseum. He played a vital role in the U.S. Olympic team winning the gold medal in 1960. And his greatness on the court continued to soar in the NBA, where he played 14 seasons for the Los Angeles Lakers.
1 second, West throws it up, he makes it!
He would let it go and he would just start running to the locker room. There wasn't a better clutch player in the history of the NBA other than Jerry West.
He was a 14-time All-Star and the All-Star Game MVP. West was part of an NBA championship team and was the NBA Finals MVP in 1969. He was selected to the 35th, 50th, and 75th NBA anniversary all-time teams. And just like at WVU, West had his number 44 jersey retired with the Lakers and also a statue honoring him as well. And oh yes, it is West who serves as the logo for the NBA. West coached in the league for 3 seasons, winning 145 games. He moved into the front office, where he became an 8-time champion as an executive and was twice chosen as the NBA's Executive of the Year. Along the way, he was also honored with the prestigious Medal of Freedom. West spent plenty of time back in his home state, once owning a home on the grounds of the Greenbrier Resort. If there was a Mount Rushmore of West Virginia, this man named Jerry West would certainly have a place. The great Jerry West is gone, but will never be forgotten. All right, so now it is 3rd and 25. Pritt looking, rolling, firing, and the catch is made by Caleb Lawrence, and Lawrence will fight his way into the end zone. Cooper Durst, the wing for the Vikings. Here's Casto. He finds an opening, broke one tackle, gets away from another, and Casto journeys to the end zone. Downtown Scholar Athletes of the Week, stats and highlights. Finesse, a highlight himself here as he gets it into the end zone for the touchdown. Ravenswood on the board.
Well, Coach, great being back with you, and I thought a wonderful performance by your football team on Saturday against Ohio State, one in which you take a few plays out of that game, and that score looks a lot closer, and I think overall, though, you had to be proud of what you saw there in Columbus.
As a young boy, Jerry Lucas had an incredibly active mind.
And when I learned to count, I counted everything. When I learned to spell, I spelled every word I saw alphabetically. Like the word cat is A-C-T. Here's a picture, C-E-I-P-R-T-U. Television, E-E-L-O-S-T-V. It's absolutely useless, but it kept my mind busy.
In the 4th grade, a teacher changed Lucas's life forever.
She said, imagine the Great Lakes, now see homes floating on the Great Lakes, and here's the reason why. Homes are spelled H-O-M-E-S, and those are the beginning letters of the 5 Great Lakes: Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. I thought to myself, I'll never forget that as long as I live.
From there, his memory simply would go off the charts, leading to a skill which equaled his prowess on the basketball court.
I memorized 200 pages in the Manhattan phone book and demonstrated it various times on television shows. I memorized 100-page magazines, many of them, to demonstrate on television programs that I would appear as a guest on television programs. I would meet maybe 300 or 400 people who were going to be in the studio audience before the program began. And then when I came on the program, I'd have them all stand up and point to and name all their last names. I've done that hundreds of times, and I've never missed a name because I know how to do it. Most people don't.
He's written an array of books on memory and now is in the process of taking things to another level.
What if I could picture everything I needed to learn? And this mind that was looking for something to do found its lifelong activity, and as a result, I have totally revolutionized the educational system and the educational learning process in America, and America will become familiar with it very soon when I develop my educational website that will be known as Dr. Memory's Universe.
And his base for this venture is taking place in beautiful southeastern Ohio.
Obviously, I grew up in Middletown, Ohio. I went to Columbus. I lived in Cincinnati when I played for the Cincinnati Royals. I was traded to the San Francisco Warriors. From there, I was traded to the New York Knicks. I've lived in Atlanta. I've lived in Templeton, California. There are many other places I've lived, but I live in Gallipolis, Ohio now, and I've never been more happy in a community in my entire life than I am living here.